our 100th club or something meeting. And we professional growth leaders, advanced Toastmasters, provide an opportunity for members to excel, to go beyond their ideas of what Toastmasters is all about. And today, our Toastmaster for today is Ism, who is going to lead us on a journey somewhere with his theme. So please welcome Ism.
Thank you all. Are you able to see my screen before we just start? Okay.
Yes.
Eat that frog. So where did it come from? It comes from the book from Brian Tracy, Eat That Frog. So this book, it's about talking about procrastination. So it says that your frog, the frog that we are talking about, is the most important task you have actually in hand, and the one that is most likely to for you to procrastinate, and then also one that is going to have the most or the greatest positive impact on your life. So this is the task. This is the frog that you have at hand. So by tackling this frog or by eating it as the first thing in the morning, you set yourself up for success, productivity throughout the day. So the book talks all about how to do it actually. And then one of the most interesting thing about this book that explains is different methodologies how you can tackle procrastination. It says that if you have to eat two frogs, if you have to eat two frogs, you have to go for the ugliest one first. Go for the ugliest one first, so that you don't procrastinate, and then you just set your goal and go for it. Because again, it is going to be something that is going to make sure that you are more productive for the day itself. One of the theories that is mentioned in the book is ABCDE. It says that whatever task you have or whatever thing that you have, you must decide or prioritize depending on the importance that it is going to be having. So it says that if it is the most important thing or the one that you have to do first, must do, it is an A. B, if that is something you should be doing. C, if it is nice to do. D, delegate. E, eliminate. So A goes for the most vital task or which is going to have the most serious consequences, it says. B should do important but less critical. Nice to do ones are minimal consequences if not done. D, delegate things that you can give to others to handle. E, eliminate tasks that does not contribute to your goal at all. So these are different things that you can prioritize. What we are going to be doing is a small exercise. I will be putting some task in the chat. Okay, some task in the chat, and then I will be calling out different people. Okay, so we will be doing this exercise throughout the day. We are going to be so you are going to decide out of A, B, C, D, E, what are you going to do with this task? Okay. And then, so out of A, B, C, D, E, which one you are going to be selecting? Is it going to be something that is going to be that you must do? A, should do, nice to do, delegate, or eliminate. Okay. So you need to decide among these how you are going to prioritize them. It might be different for different people, but for you, what is the priority level and why? Okay, just a simple task. So let me call upon Teresa. For number one, respond to all non-urgent emails. So how are you going to categorize this and why?
I would eliminate non urgent me emails because of the fact that if they're non-urgent, it's probably because I haven't, number one, been able to delete them from my once upon a time my list that said, yes, send me an email. And if you live in Canada, you have to allow people to describe or whatever the word is. But I know in the United States, you don't have to do that. Well, I assume you don't have to do that because I was told that, number one. And number two, there's no way if I do try to unsubscribe, it doesn't work. So, why is that important? Because of the fact that my email box is relatively eight or 900 emails, and I'm not even sure why. And so I think every once in a while, I have to go through that and I have to say, okay, why am I keeping all these emails? And then eliminate them. So that would be my idea to eliminate all non-urgent emails. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Teresa. Number two is finish the client proposal due today. DTM Sumesh, how are you going to prioritize it? A, B, C, D, O, E. Finish the client proposal due today.
Looks like it's obviously the must do part because it's client proposal and it needs to get done today. So that's the eat that frog category. Thank you,
Okay.
Mr.
Thank you, DTM
Postmaster.
Sumesh. So we will go with the first part of the meeting, that is for the project speech. Our project speech for today is going to be delivered by Toastmaster Lydian. Toastmaster Lydian for the speech.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters. My first mentor in Toastmasters. It was 2015. I had just walked into my nurse manager's office to request for another letter of recommendation to apply into a really competitive doctoral program that I wanted to get into to specialize in anesthesia. This was my fourth time applying into the program. And this was my fourth time walking into her office to request for a letter of recommendation. And my nurse manager, she was a really strict nurse manager, very feared. I rarely wanted to go to her office unless I had to, unless she called me in for something. She had very high standards, and I just had a high respect for her. And that's all I knew about her. It was just really this strict nurse manager. And the few times I'd walked into her office, she'll be like, all right, yes, for the last three times, she just written me a letter of recommendation. So this fourth time I walked into her office, I was deflated. I'm like, I'm here again. You know, how is she gonna look at me? She's written me three letters already in the last 3 years, and I haven't gotten in. But surprisingly, she was actually curious. She sat forward and asked me, Lillian, what do you think? How come you haven't gotten in the last three times I've written you the letter of recommendation? What do you think is the issue? And tears came into my eyes. I said, you know, I really want this. And it's a highly competitive program, and only less than 50% of applicants get an interview. And all the time, the three times I've gotten offered an interview, but I am not getting accepted into the program. So I am not sure what the problem is. And right away she noticed, and I think she could sense that my hindrance was my speaking skills and my communication skills. And thankfully she was a Toastmaster. I didn't even know what Toastmasters was at this point. And that's when she introduced me to Toastmasters. She told me, I think, Lillian, it's your interview skills that you need to work on because you're very experienced. You are a very strong candidate, and I've always written you a strong recommendation letter. Now I think we need to work on your interview skills. And that starts with your speaking skills, how you can present yourself in a way that you'll be accepted into the program. And that's when I realized that she was actually very strict, but really invested in her workers and to help them progress. That's when she introduced me to Toastmasters. She asked me, "All right, Lillian, we have to come up with a plan. How long do you have before the interview?" I said, "About 9 months." She said, "All right, from now, I want you to go sign up for Toastmasters. You can sign up in my club, and I will mentor you. And within 9 months, we are going to work on your interview skills, your speaking skills, and we'll get you there. This year, you will get in because I know after working on your interview skills and your speaking skills, I know you're a strong candidate and you can do it." And she gave me a lot of motivation. The moment I walked out of her office, I went and signed up for her Toastmasters. It was actually a Nurse Masters organization at our workplace that I wasn't even aware of. And a lot of people in there were in leadership positions, and it was intimidating at first, but she kept encouraging me. I would practice my speaking, my speeches with her before presenting at Toastmasters, and she will give me feedback before I presented my skills, and she really built my confidence. She would be more of a coach sometimes, but mostly a mentor. She will just ask me, "What are your goals for your next speech? What should we work on your voice, on your gestures?" And she really built my confidence in those 9 months. And by the 9 months when the interview came around, she even gave me a mock interview, and she was so confident in me that she gave me her confidence when I went into my doctoral program interview, that I was able to do well and I was accepted into the program. So from that, I learned that, a lot of managers actually care. Most of them care. They have very high standards, but taking the time to encourage me to get into Toastmasters, work on my speaking skills, got me out of my shell. I was really this shy, intimidated. And with my background growing up in Africa, girls were not encouraged to speak up and express themselves. But she helped me find my voice, build my confidence, introduce me to Toastmasters. Now that I really love coming to Toastmasters to work on my speaking skills, my communication skills, and I have grown a lot, and I owe it all to my first mentor and my first nurse manager who introduced me to Toastmasters. And from there, honestly, I can attribute many of my accomplishments since that time to this time a lot to her for introducing me to Toastmasters, mentoring me to this point that I attained my goal of getting into grad school. And then after that, I love Toastmasters. I've continued. It's been almost 10 years now in Toastmasters, and she really built my confidence. So I would encourage you, somebody might have small goals of getting into grad school or getting that job, but the moment they come into Toastmasters, they get a good mentor, they can really go far. It's beyond that goal of getting that job or getting into school. They really realize that Toastmasters is a place that helps you build your personal skills and your professional skills. Thank you. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Lillian, for that wonderful speech. I truly agree with you, the importance of a mentor, and then how they can help us actually flourish in a platform like Toastmaster. It's not just Toastmaster, but at different aspects in life. And then how these unexpected people actually become our mentor, right? We are so afraid to ask those people, but at the end of the day, these are the true people who actually motivate us to do better and to go to the next level in life. So thank you very much for that speech, encouraging us to find a mentor to go to the next level. Having said that, going back to the questions, the next one is organizing your desktop folder. How important is it? If you had to prioritize DTM Kaushal, what is it going to be? Is it a must do, should do, nice to do, delegate, or an eliminate task? DTM Kaushal.
I would say eliminate this task. Just knowing how much my actual computers are disorganized, and you're going to get a different computer in a few years anyway. It's all going to be deleted and you're going to get a fresh new one. So why even bother? I would just not bother organizing what's on my desktop.
It's okay. Yeah, it depends on person to person, so it could be different to different people. So as long as you are able to categorize it, that's the important part. Moving forward with the meeting, the next one is the turbo topic, which is going to be led by DTM Sumesh. DTM Sumesh for the table topic.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters, it's really interesting when I first saw this topic about eat that frog, and our VPPR has done a good poster of that as well. I was just thinking, what is this about? Eat that frog. And personally, me being more on a vegetarian category, it was a little bit shocking to see that. So then I was trying to understand what this eat that frog actually means, and now I understand. It's really interesting. So the concept here is that, yeah, I was thinking that maybe there is some part of the world where, because the world is so huge and there are so many different types of cultures and everything exist. So I was actually thinking maybe there is a part in the world where some people like eating the frog, but maybe that is not the right thing. I don't know. Maybe there might be somewhere, but yeah, generally, I guess no one would want to do that, and that's the reason that try to do the things that you don't feel like doing first, so that you get it done. That's the concept here, which is really interesting. And on that basis, I had some topics which are based on quotes, and then I can ask a topic based on that particular quote. So we'll do it that way. And the first quote that I have is from Mark Twain, and he says, "The secret of getting ahead is getting started. The secret of getting ahead is getting started. What important task you have been postponing, and what is one step you can take today? What important task you have been postponing, and what is one step you can take today?" Irfan, would you like to take that?
I understand this code like this, that if we want to move ahead on any path, we need to start the journey. Means that sometimes some people are very perfectionist. Means that they want perfection in every task and in every matter of the life. But that is not a good idea, because if we want to do everything perfectly, that is very difficult to do it. So the first part of the question is that we should start with necessary preparation and not indulge in so much preparations for a task. And the second part is that what important task that I am delaying. Uh, if some task from my work, if I see, then there are some tasks like arranging some meetings, and I a little bit shy, so I find it difficult to arrange meetings. Therefore, sometimes I delay these uh, conduct of meetings. So that is why I have joined the Toastmaster Club, to improve my communication. As Lillian has said, that she also used Toastmaster to improve her communication and leadership skill. So usually in the office, I delay the tasks that relate to conduct of meetings. Thank you, Table Topic Master.
Round of applause to Irfan. Thank you very much for sharing. And it's not easy to share the the things that we are challenged about. So thank you for being, in a way, vulnerable there in terms of sharing what is difficult for you, what task you have been postponing, and what is a step that you can take today. And that actually reminded me of something that has been happening in my work life as well, where there was something where we needed cooperation from our stakeholders. And I was sending them messages, and somehow or other, I was not getting response. So I had to keep pushing at, reminding the person, which is outside my comfort zone, because I generally don't like pushing people. Like I generally would be a person who feels that everyone is a responsible adult, and they will they will do the needful. So it was a little bit challenging for me to go out of my comfort zone and keep pushing the person. And finally, after a couple of weeks, um, we had a session where we actually got the input as well. So I was happy about that, even though I had to go outside my comfort zone and keep pushing people. But finally, it happened. So sometimes that happens. So thank you so much, Irfan, for sharing that. The second quote that is from Zig Ziglar, is a famous personal growth leader, author. He says, "You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great." Interesting one again, right? You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to become great. Why do people often wait for perfect moment before beginning? Why do people often wait for the perfect moment before beginning? Teresa, would you like to take it?
Could you just repeat that, please?
Why do people often wait for the perfect moment before beginning?
Mm. I just can't do that. I just can't answer that question. I'm not there yet. All reasons why we're always waiting for the perfect moment in your life. Have there been those occasions where you wonder, I got to get on this, I got to get on this, yet you can't? You can't because you don't have that belief in yourself. You don't understand that it's okay not to have the perfect skills. I thought that I had to know the whole job before I even put my name down to apply for it. I didn't realize at the time that number one, I would learn those skills. Number two, that I would probably make a lot of mistakes. And number three, that it's okay to make mistakes. Yet, I was a teacher for 30 years, and I really disliked giving perfect or ABC on a paper. Why? Because of the fact that students felt that they just didn't hit the grade. And now I realize in my own life that I stepped back from a lot of situations. I didn't start because I didn't feel that I fit the grade or that I was capable of doing it. Back to you, Mr. Table Topics.
Round of applause to Teresa. Thank you very much, Teresa. It's an interesting thing. I saw about a YouTube vlogger who was vlogging for nearly 2 years or something, and he was not getting many subscribers. And then suddenly, after the second year, he was in a position where he started getting thousands and thousands, and he's gone to millions and millions of subscribers now. And he lives a very lavish life just through YouTube vlogging. It's kind of an amazing, it's like an interesting profession nowadays. I guess people actually take it as a profession. They don't need to do anything else in their life. They just need to vlog, and they got a lavish life, literally. But of course, it's not that easy, right? And it's really an interesting quote from Zig Ziglar. You don't have to be great, but you need to start and you need to be consistent. It's really good. Next quote is from Pablo Picasso. He says, "Action is the foundational key to all success." action is a foundational key to all success. Is taking imperfect action better than perfect planning? Kaushal, would you like to take it here? Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for giving me this table topic. Living in Chicago, we have our pride in Pablo Picasso because we have several sculptures made by him displayed throughout the city. And I think if you look at his sculptures, they will look very strange to you, as if they were maybe the beginnings of an idea, like the early concepts, but they are actually the finished product. So I think that's an interesting quote that the artist himself has said that you have to take action before greatness. When you when you go around Chicago looking at Picasso's arts, you see that action, you see that greatness manifested in the physical sculptures that he made. There's the greatness right there. Those are the acts he took to achieve greatness. And you may or may not like them, but they are absolutely there. Uh, so for you to comment on. So I think that's a very fitting quote from that artist, because it not only demonstrates why he became a great artist, it actually kind of demonstrates it describes his art as well. Back to you, Mr. Topic Master.
Thank you very much, Kaushal. It's really interesting that coincidentally, the topic that came to you was based on Picasso's art being there in Chicago. It's really interesting how this connection works. And thank you for sharing that. Yeah, there is a saying they generally say about some people that you can either hate the person or you can love the person, but you cannot ignore the person. Something like that. There are some personalities like that, but this is like his art, probably. Yeah, right. So some people might think it as unfinished and may not like it, and some people will like it, but no one can ignore his art as such. It's interesting. Okay, now we come to next quote by Benjamin Franklin. It's a small one. It says, "Well done is better than well said." It's interesting again. Well done is better than well said. Why do some people talk about goals more than they work on them? Would you like to take it, Lillian? Thank you.
Well done is better than well said. Yes. Of course, it's easy to talk about our goals, our dreams, than to take the action. Especially nowadays when we have so much knowledge, you can go to Google, you can go to AI, it will give you all the tips. If you want to lose weight, get fit, how to apply to school, get a job, there's all this information. And I find myself having a lot of information, but taking the steps which really matter, that are going to make the difference, it's really tough. Sometimes I think it's a lack of belief. We don't believe that we can do it. So we just end up with a lot of information, talking about it, but we don't actually take the steps to get it done. But until we start taking those small steps every day to get it done, it won't get done. Personally, I've changed my beliefs to really start taking action. That the moment I get any little information, I'm going to implement it right away. And that's the only way we can get to our goals. Yes, with all the information, we have plenty of information nowadays on how to get and accomplish our goals. The information is there. We have the knowledge, but we have to take the action. So I agree. It's very easy to have the knowledge to talk about it, but having that self-confidence and assurance and knowing, like Teresa said, it's making mistakes, being okay with making mistakes, small steps, and trying to eat the frog. Those are some of the psyche and mentality we can try to implement so we can achieve our goals, because just having the knowledge, just talking about it, won't get us anywhere. Back to you, Mr. Table Topics.
Just round of applause to Lillian. Thank you so much. It's a great thought process there in terms of answering that. And then there is a saying as well, action speaks louder than words. Generally, that's an important saying there, which says that, yes, there's an interesting story actually, and it might go to the next quote as well about the person whom I'm talking about. There was a story about this, a mother going to a person and asking them person, it was like a very pure kind of person, and they were asking the person, my son is taking too much chocolate, so can you ask him to say that don't take too many chocolates? Can you please do that, because he respects you, so he might listen to you. And this person said to the mother that you come after a month, and then I can instruct the child. They came after a month, and then yes, and then he said, this time he said that, okay, yeah, child, please don't take chocolate. So it's an interesting. So the mother asked, obviously, why you didn't say it at that time? And then the person said that I was doing it myself. So first I had to stop that. And when I actually stop, and when I say after I stop, my words will have weightage and it will have an effect. Really interesting. That it's a very interesting thought process here. That the action, like whatever personality we are, basing on that personality, when we say something, then it has a weight. Otherwise, we can say lots of things, but it might not have any effect on anyone. So it's really interesting. Next, so it's sometimes attributed to this person, and the speaker. The next quote is from Mahatma Gandhi, and he says, "Future depends on what you do today." Very common sense kind of quote, but it has good meaning, a lot of meaning, deep meaning there. Future depends on what you do today, and which daily habit has the greatest impact on your future? Isam, would you like to talk about it? Thank you.
One of the things that I was procrastinating was doing something for myself, actually going to the gym, right? Doing exercises. So I have been delaying it for quite a while, but then I decided, no, I need to just start doing it. So I started in January going to the gym. But did it make a difference in the first couple of months? No, it did not show any difference. So I did not feel it. But after third month, at the end of third month, people start asking me, are you dieting? Or they started seeing a difference in me, a change in my physique and everything. And I also started seeing a difference. So it was that step that I started in January. I started seeing end of March towards April. And then it's about looking at the future. What am I looking at? And how am I going to move forward? Is it because my personal trainer, he asked, okay, what are you looking for? Is it getting bulk or just staying fit? For me, it's about staying fit because it makes a difference. It feels good. It changes a lot of things, how I look into the work that I do, because I go early in the morning. So it gives a lot of energy to start the day. It helps. It helps a lot. So I'm going to continue doing it just to remain fit, because it gives a lot of other things into perspective also. So going to gym, I would advise just being consistent and doing it. It helps. It shows and it helps also. Back to you, Sumesh. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ahmed, Isam, for sharing that. It's really inspiring and motivating in terms of when you share all these aspects of yourself. And actually, it reminds us of this book, Atomic Habits book by James Clear as well, where he talks about the habit loop. And he says that small steps is fine. We can't. There's an interesting saying as well, Rome was not built in a day. It's a really, really interesting saying. We take small steps towards what we want to do, and those small steps has a compound effect over. If we consistently do it, it has a compound effect. But that consistency is important there. So he talks about 4 things: make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and make it satisfying. So whatever change we want to do, first of all, it has to be, we just we have to have that cue anywhere. And if the cue is there, then we actually do it. Then some way that makes it more attractive. So we need to have a craving for doing the good thing. Then we need some response. So we make it easy, and then we give ourselves a reward as well for doing that. Make it satisfying. So it's really interesting how James Clear puts that in Atomic Habit. I think we are done with the table topics now. And thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on all these table topics. And I would like to hand over the virtual gavel to our Toastmaster, Ahmad Isam. Thank you very much.
Thank you, DTM, so much for that wonderful round of questions, table topic questions. We will move forward. A lot of inspiring talk we had. Looking at the chat again to the task at hand. So the next one is call your top 3 customers for feedback. So how are you going to tackle this? How are you going to prioritize this? Irfan, Toastmaster Irfan.
Thank you, Isam. I will categorize it in the nice to do because taking feedback from the customers is important, but not must do or should do. So I will prioritize it as the nice to do. So because the customer feedback gives us an idea that how satisfied the customer is with our product or with our services. So once in a week or once in a month, we should take the feedback from the customer. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Toastmaster Irfan, for categorizing as something nice to do. Next one is ask an intern to compile weekly status. Ask an intern to compile weekly status. How are you going to categorize this, Toastmaster Lilian?
Ask an intern to compile weekly stats. I would say this will be should do. As an intern, I feel like we have to engage them. And unless you have that constant engagement with them, they might not grow, they might not feel invested in learning and growing. So I think this is a great way that I can encourage my intern to be invested and grow and be active. So I think this is a great way that I can engage with my intern to keep them active, consistent. If I give them a task to do in a consistent, timely manner, like weekly. So I think this is something I should do for my intern because this will help them grow and feel like I'm in touch with them. I think this will be important for me to do. I should do it. Not that I must do it, but I'll make an intention and know that it's important to do. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Lilian, for categorizing as a should do. I also believe that we should keep our interns engaged so that they get a learning opportunity. So the next part of the meeting for the evaluation, so let me call upon our GE, DTM Teresa. DTM Teresa.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster. What a wonderful meeting this has been so far. We're going to start our evaluation section with our evaluator evaluating Lillian's speech. Please welcome Toastmaster Irfan.
Thank you, General Evaluator. And the important points of Lillian's speech. First of all, I noted that she always is full of energy. So during the speech, she was very energetic and full of energy. Then she was also confident, and also her speech was in a flow and smooth, and her voice was also clear. And one thing that I would say that her camera position is like this, that her hands were not visible. So if uh, she can adjust the camera, so it will be more visible, more body language will be more visible. And one thing that she can add in her tone variations, like when she is excited, then her tone be in the excited mode. When she said that tears came out of her eyes, then maybe she can change her tone to a sad one. And similarly, when she said that I was intimidated, so that also show a little bit emotions of fear. Overall, very good speech, because at the last moment she decided that she will deliver the speech. So thank you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Irfan, for your glow points. Yes, she's always full of energy, and for your grow points, which are really important. One thing I might add is that we really learn more about each of us when we do speak. I didn't know Lillian been in Toastmasters for 10 years. I thought she had just joined when she joined our club. So that's another reason for each of us to continue speaking because we get to know you a little bit better. So thank you very much for your evaluation. At this time, I will call upon our timer for his report, please.
Hmm. Madam General Evaluator and fellow Toastmasters, our speaker, Lillian, spoke for 6 minutes and 30 seconds. For the table topics, Irfan spoke for 1 minute 52, Teresa for 2 minutes 3 seconds, Koshal for 1 minute 28 seconds, Lillian for 1 minute 57 seconds, Isam for 1 minute 53 seconds. For the evaluation, Irfan spoke for 1 minute 52 seconds. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Kaushal, for your very conscientious report. For my general evaluator report, I would like to say that when Somesh asked me the table topics question, I was thinking on my answer for Kaushal's question to me, do you have a word of the day? And I thought, maybe that's something that we need to do right at the beginning. Because I said, well, yeah, we could have the Toastmaster have a word or the general evaluator give a word. However, he says, well, you signed up for it. And I thought, duh. So I had to ask. So, as I say, I wonder because it is an important role. I know that we don't have to go through the roles at the beginning of the meeting, but that might be a helpful thing. Having looked back over the meeting, I really like the word consistency, and this meeting has really been consistent. What I would suggest is that at 9 o'clock, if our SAA is experiencing difficulty, that we just jump in. And sorry, Lillian, I didn't want to take your your shine, but it was more the fact that we should get started when it happens. So, and you were having difficulties, right? So that was good. The theme, eat the frog. Well, Ism gave us the answer, but then Toastmaster Somesh really expounded on his feelings of it at the beginning of Table Topics. And what I would like to say is that we are an advanced club. And so let's take every moment that we can to do our speaking, as Somesh did for his intro to Table Topics. Plus, I really like the way that Ism started off the meeting, gave us tasks to do. We only had one speaker. We are going to probably we would have finished early, but because of the fact that we had those extra speaking moments, I noticed that I went on, and then Somesh came in with one line. Usually he's goes on and well, anyways, he didn't. And I thought, oh, maybe I didn't do that right. What it was when Ism asked me. And Kaushal, when you said about we're getting a new computer in a couple of years, I thought, oh, wow, yeah. And when Lillian's question came up about delegate with interns, I wanted to respond and say, I thought it should have been delegated to somebody else, but you really changed my mind. It should be a should do or even a must do because we should be involved with our interns. All in all, I would like to say that this meeting was definitely life lessons learned from table topics to isms theme and care. We all got time, extra speaking time, I believe. And that's what it's all about. So we are an advanced club. Let's keep moving forward. Let's keep saying or speaking and taking the time and making sure that we're getting what we want from each meeting. I believe that that would be my report as general evaluator. I would now like to turn it over to our president, Kaushal, for oh, first of all, maybe back to ISM. Did you want to finish those other couple? Yeah, let's do those. It's very interesting. Go ahead, ISM. Over to you.
Thank you, Teresa, for the general evaluation. Yes, as you mentioned regarding the grammarian, I totally forgot about it. I should have asked about it, but area for improvement. Again, we can always jump in or put in the chat. So as an advanced club, there are opportunities how we can move forward. The next one is scroll social media for inspiration. So let me ask DTM Sumesh, how do you categorize this? Does social media scrolling really inspires you?
This is a controversial one, very controversial one, because there is inspiration in quotes there. And it's a very tricky one as well. I just wanted to share one thing. There was one of the interviews that we had to take for a senior DevOps engineer in our team. And one of the guys came in and we interviewed the person. And then I was talking to this person has to work with a manager in Sweden. He's supposed to be in our team. He'll work with our team, but he is supposed to integrate with some team members in Sweden as well because the development activity is in Sweden. And I was chatting with the managers in Sweden, and then that manager asked that I want to have a look at him in the LinkedIn. We checked for the name. There were hundreds of those names, but this person was not there in the LinkedIn. And it was really surprising. And this guy, that manager said to me, "This guy is from India, and obviously he will be in LinkedIn. You know, these people are software engineers, and they want to go across the world and all." And then I met this guy in the office, and I was talking to him in the corridor, and then I just asked him, and he said, "I'm not in any of the social media." That was like an eye opener for me. Like not even in LinkedIn. Kind of amazing. Like in this age where the identity of a person is based on being on social media. It's kind of amazing that you have such a person. So, I just ranted. Apologies for that, but scroll social media for inspiration is probably eliminate is probably better, I would say, in the current context, even though it could be a nice to do as well, depending on how much control we have on ourselves. Generally, the human condition is basically, I think, better to eliminate it, I would say. Get inspiration from nature, maybe. It might be even better. Over to
Okay.
you, Toastmaster.
Thank you. Thank you, DTM Sumesh. What about Lillian? If the same thing comes to you, how would you prioritize this task?
Personally, I love social media, and I came to learn that you can filter your your profile. So I'm following inspirational quotes and inspirational people. So I filtered out my filter to get just inspirational quotes And it really motivates me, especially when I'm down, especially the afternoon. I don't have the energy to finish my day. Going to social media on Facebook, because I've curated my profile to only see inspirational quotes and encouraging quotes. So I don't get to see all the extra stuff that usually distracts me. And it's honestly for me, it's been, I would even move it up to should to do. Lately, it's been really inspiring for me in the afternoon because, yeah, specifically, I've taken the step of curating my profile on Facebook to follow people who post inspirational quotes, and they really give me that extra energy in the afternoon to finish my day. So for me, it's a nice to do now, but I think even I curate it even more. It's been a great inspiration for me when I see the inspiring quotes on social media. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Lydian, for that perspective. Yes, different task. It could be different for different people. The next one is prepare slides for tomorrow's big meeting. DTM Kaushal, how important is it?
That sounds pretty important to me. That's yeah, you got a big presentation tomorrow. I would say, I would say, well, it almost seems like a must do, but I would allow it as a should do because it's possible to over prepare, to worry too much in advance of the presentation. It might be better if you just kind of relax and trust the system. And uh, if you're already familiar with your presentation, with the things you're going to say, you might not need to prepare that much. I think it's a very good idea to do so. You should do so, but I would say do not worry too much because you know what you're going to present anyway. So uh, don't don't worry too much if you don't get the chance to prepare.
Okay. Thank you, DTM Kaushal. Irfan, what about the next one? Order team lunch for next week. Is it important?
Yes, it is very important. Without lunch, we cannot work at office. And I was just one idea came to my mind that there is an Eisenhower matrix for prioritizing and scheduling the daily tasks. That matrix has two criteria. One is important and one is urgent. And it says that if a task is important and also urgent, you need to do it yourself. And if a task is not important but urgent, then you need to delegate it. And if a task is important but not urgent, then you can keep it in your queue that you will later do it. And if a task is not urgent and not important, then we need to eliminate it. Regarding this team lunch, because lunch is food and important, so I think we need to delegate it to our secretary or like this, so he can arrange for the lunch. Thank you, Isam.
Thank you, Toastmaster Irfan. Again, very nice concept. The last one, redesign your personal blog. DTM Teresa, how important is it?
Personally, I need a lesson on how to redesign my personal blog. I never knew you could curate your Facebook. I just don't go on it because it's too mind-boggling. However, my personal blog, which is there somewhere, it's called, what is it even called anymore? I forget. Um, and I had been writing it for years and years, and I just sort of left it. It is a must do for me, but I'm not really looking for clients. Once upon a time, I was looking for clients for weight loss success and for speaking, but I've sort of put that beside the wayside. So, uh, but I still personally, deep down, I think, hey, if somebody wants to help me with that, I'll take it. back to you.
Thank you, DTM Teresa. Again, thank you very much for participating, for contributing. Again, a great learning from all of you. This is again one of the concepts. So many concepts that Irfan mentioned there. But again, one of the things that I realized was very important that I also practice is planning. Planning ahead, prioritizing. It helps a lot when it comes to execution. It saves a lot of time. So hope all of you like the topic discussion, and that's end from me. Back to President DTM Kaushal.
Thank you, Sam. Great meeting. What a way to explore the theme by giving us these questions throughout. And Lillian, thank you very much for giving us your speech for today's meeting. And great table topics, Somesh, that further explore the idea of eating the frog to get things done, get things started. Well, very good meeting. Uh, I don't really have anything to add except next week's meeting. If people want to, if uh, most of the roles are open, we Lillian has signed up to be Toastmaster. Uh, Isam has signed up to be grammarian, and everything else is open. Does anyone know any role that they would like to take at this time?
I will do the speech.
Great, thank you, Irfan.
I will do a speech also.
Oh, awesome.
I'll be an evaluator.
Okay.
I think Irfan had asked, do you want me, Irfan, or it's up to you?
There will be two evaluators, one for my and one for the ISM.
Yeah. So I wasn't sure if you wanted me to sign up for yours or not.
Yes, okay,
Oh,
sure.
okay. I will.
Okay. All right.
Kaushal sign me
Great.
up for his.
Okay.
Sorry,
All right.
I'm gonna drive.
Fantastic. Thank you very
Yeah.
much for signing up for all these roles. Our next week's meeting is already looking good. Anybody else want to volunteer for any role? All right. Let me save next week's agenda. 1 second. All right, great. So next week's agenda has Lillian as Toastmaster, Irfan as speaker number 1, Isam as speaker number 2, and Teresa as uh, Irfan's evaluator, and Isam as grammarian. All right, great. So I will go ahead and take our pick for WhatsApp. All right. Everyone ready? 1, 2, 3. Got it, I got it, I got it. All right, very good. All right, I would allow any questions or issues before we adjourn?
I just wanted to mention it's too bad Indivar wasn't here. This was such a spectacular meeting.
Yeah,
And of course we always have guests and no guests today, but
yeah.
yeah.
I wish we had guests also. They would have enjoyed today's meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Anyone else? All right. Then I would like to turn the meeting to our Sergeant at Arms for adjournment, please.
Was a great meeting today. I think if we keep it consistent and keep it active and vibrant and going and signing up for roles, and that our guests may know that we are here consistently, it will get our guests coming and hopefully joining our group. But even without guests, I always enjoy our meetings. Thanks everybody for making the commitment to keep our club strong. Yes, wishing everybody a great week and hope to see you next week.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Okay, bye. Thank you.
Bye.